Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the In Your Head podcast. I am your host, as always, Jesse, and with me, my guest today, Catie Versaggi.
Hello.
Catie Versaggi is here. She is a wrestler in cosplay pro wrestling, huge cosplay fan, so I brought her here to talk about that. But before we do that, we have what we're going to ask every guest, which is our statute of initiation.
Okay.
So I'd like you to tell us all about something that you may have done that is slightly illegal, mildly illegal, that you might not be 100% proud of.
It's hard to say. Like, I had time to think about it, and I'm still, like, coming up short.
Well, it doesn't have to be like a marginal felony.
I know. Oh, I just thought of a bad one. Shit. No, I'll just fess up. I probably stole my sister's Pokemon cards when we were younger. Something boring.
How long ago? How old were you?
Oh gosh, like it was like when Pokemon just started getting popular or just started showing in the States.
So ways back, maybe.
Yeah, I was in like 3rd grade maybe, and my sisters were in 2nd grade, and like other one was like just born. I don't know. The newborn, I stole her Pokemon cards.
She can't defend herself, so you took her.
She doesn't need this Chansey. I need this Chansey.
Was it something you had done a lot with siblings? Like, was it? Now, how many siblings did you have all told?
I have 2 younger siblings.
2 younger siblings.
Yeah.
Was it a rivalry sort of thing? They were the younger ones, kind of a. Any sort of feeling like that, you think, with it?
We like fought like dogs when we were kids.
Oh, okay.
So like, you know, we had trouble sharing. Yeah.
So it wasn't like a regretful kind of thing at that point. You were just like, I'm taking it, it's mine, I don't care.
Yeah, at that point I did not care. But looking back, I'm like, you know what, that wasn't fair, that wasn't good, that wasn't right.
Well, that's what we look back on a lot of the stuff. That's why I want people to see what, to analyze it, because a lot of people, when they do stuff, you see a lot of crimes on TV, they don't care who they hurt, they don't care what they did. It doesn't really matter. It's a crime of opportunity. It's a little smaller, I assume, with Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And it's not a big thing. But when you're young, that can be almost anything. It feels like everything to you, because you're like, oh my God, it's that foil Charizard that they've got that I really, really wanted. And it can mean a lot to a kid, especially when you're playing the game, you're playing in school, other kids have you want to, oh yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So.
Yeah, and like as I grew up, I'd be guilty about everything. Like, you ever like accidentally walk out of a store with something you didn't pay for or something like that?
No, I'm the opposite. I've always been afraid that the alarm's going to go off, even though I didn't take anything. I mean, maybe accidentally, like if I was carrying something, because like I hate having a shopping cart, but I see what you mean. Like I would carry stuff, and I would accidentally. That's what my fear always was. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna accidentally steal something. Yeah. And
like if I got home with a thing I didn't pay for, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm a thief. No.
But see, that's a good thing to have. That's totally opposite of episode 1 for any of you who may have listened. It's totally opposite the grand larceny that I think we discussed for a good 15 minutes with my previous guest, who had almost no remorse. It seemed like it started smaller, which was, again, younger kids, from what he said, was they were stealing chromies off of car tires. So anybody who had chrome rims back then, you always had the chrome valve caps, and kids would steal them because they would fit on their bike.
Oh.
It was pretty standard in the 90s. It was really pretty standard in the 90s. Like, oh, chrome hub, they were gone. If you put them on your car, they were gone, and a week was amazing if they lasted that long.
I've never heard of that before. Like, wouldn't...
Yeah, it was a 90s kid thing.
I didn't start befriending criminals until I was older.
It's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's good to hang on to. So, it progressed for him. But for you, it looks like it was like, oh, I don't want to do that, which I think is a little more healthy of a reflex to have, for sure.
I don't want to get in trouble, and I try to do right by people. I think helps me sleep at night, I guess.
It's a good way to go, believe me. I'm glad somebody does, for sure.
I just wish I had a juicier story, really.
Well, there's still time by the end of this. If you come up with something better you'd like to talk about, I'm
Alright.
sure if you want to come up with one, it's maybe it's good to look good. Let's have some good on the
Okay, let's-
podcast.
Yeah.
We'll keep.
I just get more evil as the podcast goes on.
Yeah, I don't want grand larceny in every episode. I'm gonna have police, and they're gonna wire. They're gonna be like, look, everybody you're gonna have on here, we're gonna be stopping them as they leave your house. So, so Pokemon brings us into probably really well, actually, as far as what you do, which is cosplay pro wrestling.
Yes.
So I guess to lightly describe it for everybody, it's an amateur wrestling organization. I know several of the people who are in it, which is how I know you and
Yeah.
Noah. And they're pretty much game, cartoon, anything, and you yourself do Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Do you do any of the other characters in that?
Not yet. I'm working on Chic.
Okay.
But that's not done yet, and the next show is like months and months away for now. But yeah, in April I started showing up as Harley Quinn. And it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
So which came first, as the chicken and the egg thing? Is it the cosplay or the wrestling that got you really into it?
Well, I was a cosplayer like long before I started wrestling.
Okay.
I only started wrestling like 1 year ago. Wow,
Okay.
it's been a year.
Right around the, I guess, South Jersey Geek Fest was probably. That's about when that was the last event that had just happened. So.
Yeah. So I was already into cosplay, and then one of the trainers at my first training session, he did cosplay pro wrestling. He was Ryu at last year's South Jersey Geek Fest, and he's the one who told me that cosplay pro wrestling was a thing.
Okay.
And I was like, I have to do that. Like, it's cosplay and it's wrestling. It's my two favorite things put together. That's amazing.
So what got you into cosplay? About how long have you been into that?
I don't know. Probably around college.
Okay.
Because, let's see. I met a lot of my friends in college, and a lot of them were into cosplay. And I think my first cosplay was Crimson Viper from Street Fighter.
Okay.
I was just like, you know what? That's a cool costume. I have really long hair. I could just spray it red. And, like I love plain clothes cosplays because, like, you buy the stuff. It's not a whole lot of work. And you can wear the clothes later.
Right.
Just as regular clothes. So
Right.
I'm like, cool, I'm Crimson Viper. I have a suit now. I can use that suit whenever I want.
So I guess it sounds like a group of friends that kind of got you started into it. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
I always wonder, especially with a lot of cosplayers, I know it's usually a significant other or a friend or somebody who gets you kind of started and says, hey, this is where we do it. I mean, well, I don't think, as far as our friend Noah that we referenced earlier, I know he is pretty much at every con that exists. I think he's at every one. And so he has a tendency, but he doesn't, he goes to all the cons, but he's not an actual cosplayer, but unless he's in cosplay pro wrestling. So
yeah. It's a lot of work, and depending on who you're cosplaying, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. It seems like the Harley Quinn costume is a little simpler. That was the t-shirt and the shorts, and that's pretty much a Harley Quinn costume.
Yeah, like, I wanted to do, like, the animated series Harley Quinn, but, like, it's really hard to do because it's, like, different colors, and you gotta stitch them all together, and, like, I don't work with spandex very much, and it's not gonna look right if it's not spandex, so...
Right.
It's just way out of my league right now. And I was on a time constraint because it was like a couple months, and he was like, you're going to be Harley Quinn in a few months. You should get the Suicide Squad outfit. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm going to try to do animated series Harley Quinn. And I bought a costume. It just didn't translate well to real life.
Yeah.
So I sent it back, and... I was like, fine, I'll be stupid Suicide Squad Harley Quinn then. Because, like, they just sell the costumes at Hot Topic. And,
yeah.
it's...
Well, it was good to have the easy fallback. So you weren't stuck in something you didn't like that you were like, well, this just isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So at least you had the fallback and the popularity of Suicide Squad being out there now.
Yeah, people like that costume for some reason.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it is.
Yeah, I don't have any pictures live available, but I'm sure she would be real happy if I put one up here. But unless there's any on the Cosplay Pro Wrestling site, which I'm going to link to down below, I am going to have some links to the Twitter and the Facebook page of Cosplay Pro Wrestling, which is all going to be down below here, below the YouTube video. So there's going to be all links to that. So I know, like I said, I know a lot of the guys, so I'm more than happy to help them out and try to share it around for you guys. So before the podcast, we were talking about work.
Yes.
So I know this is a happy subject for you. Not gonna. I'm smart enough not to disclose locations or anything like that, so we know better.
Yeah.
But I know you're in the manufacturing and quality assurance area, so I know that's been kind of rough recently. But what is it that you wanted to do? I mean, do you have a thing, like, did you end up in this job, especially as I asked my previous guest, who just apparently jobs get thrown at him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Jeff is lucky. He just, people just walk up to him and say, hey, you want a job? Yeah, a lot of people would love to be in those kind of shoes. But was it something that you kind of fell into, or were you are you still looking for something else along?
There's a lot of reasons I'm there. I did used to want to be there.
Okay.
Like, it's at a company that, like, it's supposed to be a really good place to work. And it just, it was, when things were good, it was good. And then, when we ended up getting slammed with, like, a whole bunch of incoming inventory, and they started making us work overtime, like insane amounts of overtime. They're, in the state of New Jersey, like, they can make you work as much overtime as you want, and it's mandatory. And if you don't do it, they can fire you. So,
yeah.
In my job description, it said, do overtime as required. You have to do this. And I was like, okay, I figure that means, like, a little here and there. Not for 6 straight months, 9.5-hour days plus Saturdays.
Mm.
And, yeah, it's just not a good fit anymore. But, like, in manufacturing and stuff in general, like, it's kind of like my fallback.
Well, you mentioned college earlier. What did you study?
So, my first round at college, I went for liberal arts with a concentration in computer graphic design because I wanted to make webcomics and stuff. And as, like, all the deadlines and stuff just killed my passion for it.
Right.
So, as soon as I graduated, I was like, I don't want to do this ever again. And then, a few months of, like, just kind of meandering, trying to figure out what I wanted to do wanted to do next. I was talking to my fiance one day, and I was talking about how in high school I took Latin for 4 years. I think I was the only Latin 4 student. They had to lump me in with the Latin 3 students for another year.
Yeah, not a lot of demand.
Yeah.
For that particular language anymore, it seems.
Yeah. And, like, our old professor that we all liked very much, he left in that 4th year. So everybody else dropped the class and got a study hall. And I was like, I'm going to stick with it because I like Latin, and you know what? It's an easy A because I did all this before last year.
Don't blame you.
Yeah.
So that was the second. Well, what did you want to? I mean, you took the Latin, but what, like, a Latin teacher did you want to be, or what did you?
I think
what was the end goal?
I don't think I knew what I wanted to do with it. I just knew that I wanted to get my bachelor's doing it. I was like, I'll get my degree in Latin and ancient Greek and teach it back to people. That's really all you can do with it.
Yeah.
But school was too expensive and I couldn't get a loan for it, so I ended up dropping out of there. And I was like, okay, well now I have like $25,000 of student loans. I'm going to go to community college, get a degree in optics, and go into manufacturing.
And so so you have a degree in optics.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you ended up now. That's why I was trying to see.
Yeah,
the line,
it's
right.
a really long journey, but it gets there.
No.
Back to the question.
Well, no, because I knew that you worked in optics, so that's why I was trying to see how the optics manufacturing part of it. That's why I was trying to see. I mean, because there's a lot of manufacturing. I know a lot of people engineers, so
Yeah.
they're in manufacturing because they want to build stuff. So for you, optics was like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
what you studied. So that answers that question a lot more for me. So you said cosplay, pro wrestling. There aren't any shows coming up for a while. You guys don't have anything
Yeah,
going on the docket?
So I think we're done for the rest of the year. We have some shows that haven't been confirmed yet, so there's no date for them yet. But I think our next confirmed show is Anime Next in June.
Okay, where's that show at?
That's Anime Next is in Atlantic City.
It is Atlantic City. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of. I'm not as good with the convention memory as some of the guys are. So
Oh no, I forgot you weren't there, so it's okay.
no, I don't get out to all the conventions. It's a lot of traveling, and my schedule's usually a little bit busier. So I wish I could go from convention to convention and hop some of them because they are fun. I've been to too many games. I worked
I like that one.
I worked too many games. Not this past one, but the one previous, and I worked that one, and it was a ball.
Yeah.
It was an absolute blast. The people were great. I mean, just an amazing crowd. All the people that came in there, it was really a cool time, and that's the kind of convention I think I'd like to go to. I mean, an anime next sounds cool, but I'm not a big anime fan,
Yeah.
so I don't think it would be much for me. But there's plenty of other conventions that do have, a lot of stuff that I think would keep me entertained. So
Yeah, like things that aren't strictly like, this one's for anime, this one's for whatever. Like, and too many games is special because it mostly all just takes place in one room.
yeah,
And that's the thing, is because like at anime conventions and like, just bigger conventions and bigger centers, like they have like panel rooms
yeah.
and you don't know what's happening when. So it's like, what is there? Like, I went to Anime Next and I had time to go see stuff, and I didn't because I wasn't trying to navigate the entire Atlantic City Convention Center.
Right, which is a monster. That's
Yeah.
that's a big space. I know from Oaks being at wow.
Too many games?
Too many games. There we go. Being at too many games, it's big and it's imposing, but I can imagine that the AC Convention Center would be really, really big.
Yeah.
So speaking of games, the next question I like to ask all my guests is, what is your favorite game of all time? And it can be arcade, it can be console, and I'd prefer not a series. So don't say like Legend of Zelda, but that one game that if you had a chance to own it because you owned it, you'd want to buy it, or if you walk past it in the arcade, be like, I'm playing this. I gotta stop.
That's a really tough one, because I used to have an answer, and then I went back and played it, and it was the most frustrating thing ever. I was like, this game was so magical, this just, got me in all the feels, and I love playing it, it's perfect. And then I went back and played it, I was like, oh my god, I'm on the second level, and I hate this.
Okay, I've got to hear what this is.
Well, it's Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Well, a lot of people love the game. That game was acclaimed as one of the top, but you just went on the replay.
Yeah, like, and I replayed it a lot when I was like a kid. Like, when did it come out? I don't even remember.
It was PlayStation 1 era, correct?
I
think
PS2.
It was
like,
PS2.
Maybe early PS2.
Okay.
So maybe like the end of middle school, early high school. I was like, Disney and Final Fantasy, this is stupid. And then my friend is like, no, you have to play it. So I go and play it, and I'm like, it's like the first screen, I'm crying.
Unfortunately, I've never played it. I've heard. I haven't heard the end of it because I haven't actually played it.
It's okay. I try not to jump down people's throats about it, because like, it does sound really stupid when you try to explain it.
No, it's a classic game. From what I've heard, a lot of people said that it was a good game. It was a well-developed game. It was supposed to be good, but I guess for the time, maybe it didn't age well.
And I think it was one of the first like Square games that like, or maybe I'm thinking like, as far as like Final Fantasy type games go, like I think it was the first one that was like hack and slash and not like turn-based or whatever.
Right, a little more active
Yeah.
as you were playing, right? Which was...
It was kind of like not a combination of both, but like there's a lot of variety with your attacks and stuff like that. I don't know.
No, I've seen the game, so I know a little bit, and it's closer to the modern Final Fantasies than it is to than it is to the stuff that was on the Nintendos and Super Nintendos, and you know, it added Disney to it, so I mean that was supposed to draw in a huge audience. I don't blame them.
But I'll never recapture that magic from the first time I played it. It kills me.
well, then I guess to make it quick, then what would you say is your favorite then, if that game has fallen so far out of favor?
I'm not even sure.
I mean, even something modern that you would.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something I played recently, because I know there's games that make me happy. I just can't remember what they are right now. Oh, I got it. Persona 4 Golden.
Okay.
That is my favorite game, and I'm not even done playing it. Like, I'm on New Game Plus, and there's still so much I haven't experienced with it yet, and I just need to make time for it.
So for me, and anybody else who's watching who doesn't know what it is, because unfortunately I actually don't know this game. I don't know Persona, unfortunately.
Oh, it's okay.
So do explain this one.
Okay, so Persona 4 is like, you're a high school student, and you moved from the city to the country, and you meet, like, you just meet your fellow students, and there's murder.
Oh.
So they're just, random murders are happening, and they're very mysterious, and, like, kind of supernatural, and you and your friends gotta figure out who the murderer is, and you, like people are getting kidnapped, and, like, thrown into these TVs, and they appear on what's called the Midnight Channel, and they, everyone who's kidnapped is, like, struggling with something.
Okay.
Like, with some part of them they're trying to suppress, and that part of them kind of, like, detaches from them in the Midnight Channel, and, like, starts acting out and trying to kill them and stuff.
Okay.
So, like, that's their shadow. And so, you're watching the Midnight Channel, and their shadow shows up, and they're like, I'm trying to think, like, who the best example is without, like, spoiling anything. It's such a weird game. That's why it's so hard to explain.
Well, is it an RPG?
Yes.
Or okay,
yeah, it's a JRPG.
Okay.
It takes place in Japan. So there's like a lot of, like, Japanese culture stuff in it. It's in a lot of the quizzes and stuff that you take at school. Because, like, it's a lot of time management.
Okay, so I'm starting to get the kind of, as you're saying JRPG and the time management, I'm starting to get, like, put it together, because I've seen those sorts of, and again, I'm not an anime fan, so it's probably why I'm not all into the Japanese culture too much, so it's probably why I haven't gone down the road, but...
Yeah, that's no worries.
But it seems like a good thriller.
Yeah, the story is really good. So, I guess I should talk about why it's called Persona. So...
Okay.
It's like Pokemon, where, like, instead of Pokemon, you have personas.
Okay.
And they get stronger when you strengthen your relationships with other people. So, like, and that's where the time management comes in. You can decide who you're going to spend your time with, and, like, that'll raise your levels with them, which will raise your persona's levels and stuff like that.
They absolutely love relationship games in Japan, don't they? That is the thing. A
friend of mine was like, I don't like dating sims. And I'm like, no, it's not a dating sim. It's like, and as I'm explaining it, I'm like, oh my god, it's a dating sim.
It's a friendship sim, I guess. It is closer to the way you're saying it, because it doesn't sound quite like dating, but you want to... It sounds like it's a friendship sim. It's just one step below. If you...
Yeah, you don't technically have to date anyone, but you're trying to please people so that they like you more, so that your personas are stronger. So...
Okay. So for anybody into the JRPG field, it sounds like something that you might want to check out, or you probably already have. So
anyone who has can probably explain it better than I just did.
There may be comments showing up below here soon. So
this girl doesn't know anything.
So before the podcast started, I gave you a little test. I gave you 5 minutes and a paper full of circles. So I'm going to do this to all my guests from now on to see where their head goes and what they fill in the circles, how they use the circles, and things like that.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up for everybody to see here. So these are the 11 circles that we have in front of us. So I do it now. I definitely like the emoji in the middle. The middle emoji is fantastic, and
That's my favorite one.
I think you should make sure you hang on to this and trademark it. If there's any way you can get that on your phone, I think that would be a fantastic emoji. So.
Yeah. No, it is an emoji already.
Oh, it is a crying emoji. I
Yeah.
would use that one. I like that one. the marker look is nice.
Thank
so,
you.
And the poop emoji. We had to have the poop emoji.
Yeah, I don't even use the poop emoji that much. I just I saw a brown marker. I'm like, I'm gonna draw a pile of shit right now.
So the babam I like.
Yeah, you were talking about babams, and I'm like, I'm gonna draw one now. I don't remember what color their shoes are. I don't know if they're red or yellow.
No, it's a great little babam, honestly, for what he is on there. So we also got some, again, now the anime makes a repeat appearance. So we've got a theme. So we've got Goku showing up here, and I like the little scene with the tree.
Thank you.
It's a cool little look inside there, in just the small little tree. So I want to see what people feel when they're slightly pinched on time. You've got 5 minutes, and you've got, this is what you've got to come up with. You've got whatever comes out of your head. I don't know what anybody else might think. Some people might just want to use it to be an item. Draw a circle. Like, oh, I'm going to draw an orange.
Yeah.
It's a circle, and that's what it can be. And that's what I want to see from people. See how you use it, and the color, which I meant to ask too. So why that particular color, which I'm assuming was just to be a fill. So why that color?
A few of the things I drew because I looked at the markers and I was like, what can I do with this marker? So with the tree, I'm like, oh man, that the green would be good for a tree and some grass. That blue is sky blue. I want to draw an orange, but no, I don't. Oranges are boring. So I drew Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And then when you told me I had 30 seconds left, I was like, I haven't used purple yet.
And just but that was the color you went to. So
Yeah.
that was the lovely purple color. Okay.
It was very nice, yeah.
Okay. So I like it. It's interesting to see where everybody's mind goes, because I'm gonna definitely I want to find a way between my Twitch channel and the Facebook. I want to post some of these as they go, so there can kind of be a running, this is what people have been putting up. This is what that person does. So I want to kind of have a running sort of log over the course of the different podcast visitors.
Yeah,
So.
and it's a fun exercise. I felt pressured to fill all the circles in within the allotted time, and I didn't.
No,
I was like, I'd rather just,
But it's more artistic. There's more of an artistic value than to have a couple actual little images inside the circle than to just use them. I drew a wheel.
Yeah, that's true.
You could have drawn a wheel. Ooh, it's got spokes.
Mm-hmm.
But what can you do with the circles in that time? So I draw a sun. I didn't know what anybody would particularly do. So that's where each one of these comes from. So what I asked my good friend Jeff. I don't know. I was a little worried about his answer, to be honest with you. But what I also want to ask everybody else who's on the podcast, if today was your last day on Earth and you just had to look back, not like, oh, what would you do with your last day on Earth, but this was it. Today was it. It was over, and you had to look back and look at your life. How would you feel about what you've done and the life you've lived? I mean, you started to answer the question a little bit earlier with, when you said you stole stuff. You wanted to do right by people. You've grown to live like that. So you were starting to lead into answers that I assume would fall into this category. But I mean, how would you feel? I don't want to say well, I haven't done everything I've always wanted to do. I know I'm talking to somebody younger. I don't expect you to say I haven't lived my whole life yet. But how would you feel as far as the way you've lived your life and, your interactions and the things like that?
All right. Well, I do feel like most of my life I have done right and tried to do right by people. And Like, if that made them happy and it, you know, made them feel valued and stuff like that, then it's almost good enough for me. Like, I like to think I'd be remembered well, but, like, I feel like it's only just recently that I started really doing things for myself.
Yeah.
And, like, and now that I am, if I were to die today, or if today was my last day on Earth, like, yeah, I'd be like, all right, well, I did right by everyone, but I didn't get to do the things I wanted to do because I was so busy trying to please everyone.
Right. Well, I mean, I know there's plenty of time left, so I know we all have time to do that stuff, but I guess...
And everyone's like, oh, I didn't do all the things, and I'm like, you know, I just started living my life, you know, on my own terms and doing the things I want to do, so...
Right. Which...
There's some kind of pang there that, you know, it hurts.
No, it's a good thing to do things for yourself. You have to have a healthy mix, and you have to be able to give to others and to leave. I guess my theory on the whole thing is I want to try to live my life as though, you know, how will I be remembered? You know, what's going to be said about me in my eulogy, you know, or anything like that. Which, for you in that case with friends and family, it sounds like it was more, you know, that's the way you'd rather be. As opposed to if you left now, you'd leave, you know, a mortgage, student loan debt. That's not the things you want to just leave. And if you just live for yourself and you didn't do anything, you know, how many people are going to have to just lie at your eulogy? That's the, you know, that's what I don't want, and which it sounds like you wouldn't have a problem with, because people would remember you as you'd want them to, as opposed, instead of, oh, he was a great guy and he did that, you know, you don't want to just hear that.
Yeah, just empty nothings that people say when they don't have anything to say.
Right. It's a lot better than someone saying, oh man, I know there's going to be a person who's going to be on here when I ask this question. They're going to be like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people lying at my eulogy because they're going to be in front of people. And I know somebody's going to be down that road, but it's, you know, it's interesting to see why they're there. You know, what got them there and what makes them want, you know, why did you, you know, but then maybe, who knows, maybe someone will turn themselves around a little bit for that. So,
it's good to, like, reflect on that, because I feel like a lot of that is what keeps me in check, is, like, is posterity the word I'm thinking of? I'm not even sure.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So, I hear you, and it's good. It's good to keep it up here so you're not, well, that's what they say, religion is the opiate of the masses, the same thing. The religion keeps everybody in check.
Yeah, for me it's like, you know, what lasting impression are my actions gonna have? Like, that's why I'm not very... I mean, I'm more impulsive now than I've ever been, but I'm still not very impulsive, because I'm like, all right, what's, you know, are there going to be, like, a bunch of crying people in my wake if I do this, or something like that?
Well, hopefully not. So we have the final thing that I have everybody do, and that is an ink blot test.
Oh.
These are not any specific Rorschachs. These are not any kind of things like that. These are hand-created ink blot tests, which are just for you. You're going to be the first person other than myself to see them, and you'll get to keep it afterwards.
Oh, boy.
So the ink blot that we have for you is this. So, I want to see...
Do I get to think about it, or do I...
You can take a look and see what you think. I mean, or if there's something that does come to mind off the bat, and that's what, for those at home, that's what she is looking at right now. You giggle. What do you see?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. So what is it?
The first thing that came to mind is... Sorry. I'm 12.
Okay.
It looks like dog shit.
It looks like a dog turd. Okay.
Can I turn it upside down?
Okay.
Change it? Oh, it looks like a cow upside down.
It looks like
Yeah, I see a cow. Maybe
a cow face? I sort of see, yeah.
And,
like the ears off the side?
It's got ears, maybe it's like a baby cow with little horns.
I don't know if I can transform this. Okay, so let me change this here. I'll rotate it over here for everybody, so everybody else can see what we see. So, actually, yes, it is. Wow, that is definitely cow.
Yeah.
I see ears off the side and everything. Wow.
Maybe like a yoke on either side of his neck. I don't know.
Okay. No, again, these aren't something that have been, these aren't Rorschachs. These aren't in a book or a psychology manual or anything like that. I made these just because to see where they go, but it's either a dog turd or a cow. Okay.
I'm going with cow. But, like, I'm looking at it right side up again. It doesn't even look like a dog turd. Like, I don't know why that was the first thing I thought.
I almost picked up dog a little bit myself when I see it. Because
it's,
I see the ears kind of off the side.
It's
so.
Pluto. It's Pluto from Mickey Mouse. And when you turn on its side, it looks like Goofy. I don't know.
No, I'm glad you can see as much as you can in it. My last one was a little dark. Again, the last episode, yeah, Jeff saw, who works for, he works with a blood bank sort of thing. He does like end of life sort of blood work. He saw a hummingbird sucking the blood out of someone in a wheelchair.
Oh.
It got dark real fast. It was.
That's so specific.
Well, yeah, it was really specific, and I couldn't disagree with him either. So when I saw it, when he said it, I was like, wow. And so, I mean, everybody sees what they see in these, and that's what I'm really interested in as far as what a person gets to see in here. So, and again, that's why this is the In Your Head podcast, because I do want to see where everybody's head takes them down this lovely little road. So, I want to thank Catie for being here again, and another plug out for Cosplay Pro Wrestling. Again, the links are going to be down below. Please follow them on Facebook and Twitter. Is there anywhere else that you can find Cosplay Pro Wrestling, or are those the best ways to check out these guys and follow them?
There's a YouTube channel where we very rarely update the videos.
Okay.
But I think the YouTube channel is in the Facebook link.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I'm going to have Facebook and I'm going to have Twitter down below, so I'm sure you can follow these guys for when they have upcoming events and when dates are confirmed, because I know how hard it is to get these dates and everything like this. So thank you everybody for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to me as well, because I'd like to keep seeing everybody come check out the video. It helps a lot. Thank you everybody, and have a nice night.